All right.
Dude, take it away.
Yep. Welcome back. Today it's my pick. So this is Forgotten Legends of Sound. We're just still listening to music and sharing it. So a lot of fun. The one I picked today is Voyager with 5. This album came out in 2014. This is the album that pretty much got us into this band. I'll let you kind of share your story. This band... I listened to them a long time ago, probably before Kevin.
That's debatable.
No,
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember crap.
Yeah, no,
Chad got it.
I think I told you guys about this.
Yeah. I remember when this came out and hearing a tiny bit, and I was so turned off of like the gent sound that I was kind of like, this is just another one of those stupid gent bands. So I heard a tiny bit, and then I was like, whatever. And then I think you had the same experience of like hearing a tiny bit, and you're like, whatever. And then you were the one that went back to it, like maybe a couple years after it'd been out for a little while. And then you like told me to, dude, it's pretty good. And I was like,
it is kind of a recent band. We got into them like 2 years ago, maybe something like that. It's fairly recent, 2 or 3 years ago.
They're newish.
So, yeah, they're newer for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to share your story? How did this happen? Or did I already kind of share it?
Yeah, you already kind of shared it. I just tried it again, and I started, doing a full album on YouTube and stuff, and did this album. I think Orpheus was the one that was like, I was like, okay, this is awesome,
Yeah.
So it about halfway through the album, basically, and then I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I think I just wasn't ready for it when I first heard them. I think I just wasn't really like, I was into other things, and then, because whenever you showed it to me that other time, like years later or whatever, then I was kind of like, dude, this is actually really cool stuff,
I will say also, reading different lists of like greatest vocalists of all time, this vocalist would always pop up for a lot of people as being like their favorite vocalist and stuff. So that's one kind of like a constant reminder that I would get over the years of like, Voyager.
Oh, I gotta check them out sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my Rate Your Music friends loves this band, and I didn't check him out for the longest time, but he was like pretty into them, and I'm glad I finally got into them because they're pretty awesome. This is like prog metal stuff with some slight gent moments. I wouldn't say it's full on gent, what's kind of your first exposure with these guys or?
Oh man, which one of you? I think you started kind of.
Was it in the car when you were driving?
Yeah, I think I forget which song it was, but I was like, yeah, dude, I'm digging this, and then I just remember throwing it out on YouTube to go into the full album, and I didn't get bored. I stayed interested, and I was just like, yeah, I'm digging these guys.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They got a great knack for melodies, and we wanted like push this band because like I think some people know them, but they're not like a wide known band. Like. I don't know why they've been around for like the longest time. Their first album was like 2003, so it's like they've been around forever. Just for some reason they haven't been able to get through into like the mainstream prog community or metal community or something, I don't think there's anything else we need to say. Should we just move on to the songs?
Yeah, I got nothing more to add.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to go through and whatnot. I don't know how to gauge like whether I would call them like criminally underrated or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would call them like super underrated.
Yeah. They might be kind of similar to like Mew or something, where it's like what the stuff they make, I feel like they're criminally underrated, but enough people know them. Yeah. And it's just like, it's not like it's so unknown like Zinnik was. Zinnik was like pretty unknown. Right. These guys are probably a little bit more known, but for the value that they're creating, they should be so much more bigger than they are.
Yeah.
All right. So the first track we're going to do is Hyperventilating.
And we are going to score this album like we always do, so.
Yeah.
We'll see what kind of scores we give it. With the Meshuggah part or whatever.
It's kind of heavy, you know? At least a little bit.
Yeah. That's cool on the ears, that part. That's the only part of the solo I don't care for, but everything else is awesome. Like the way it ends like that is pretty awesome. Like, leading into that chorus, that's pretty awesome. Like doing this part in the back. Whew. That drummer needed the last word. You know?
Got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. That one, I think I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It is an awesome opener. It's a great song. There's maybe some parts. It's not even like a criticism. It's not a song that I usually like go to or like listen to on repeat like some other tracks on this album.
Oh wow, that's one.
But it's oh yeah, but it's still a great song. So I'm giving it a 9.5.
I'll give it an 8.5. It's definitely, for me, this song is kind of middle of the album for me. Mm-hmm. It's not the weakest album, but it's not my favorite album. Or favorite song, sorry. Yeah, it's like, it's just not as good as like, you know, Orpheus, or it's not as good as like The Morning Light to me. I think I do like probably Domination Game and It's a Wonder a little bit more too. So it's probably like my fifth favorite on the album. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the you know, I feel like it's kind of distracting. So that whole section with the slowdown and stuff, I don't care for it much at all. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just like a personal preference thing where it's like me, I'm just not as into those moments as much. Yeah, but you know, still a good song. I do think the vocalist is great and stuff. Yeah. It does have this ethereal feel, you know.
Yeah, that reminds me of like,
you know, you got the tribal drums going and a little spacey and stuff. You know,
that sort of like because it reminds me of like meditation kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, it's like that sounds like Devin Townsend, but musically this is really different than what that. But I mean, I feel like Devin Townsend captures that Zen sort of sound pretty well in his sound, and I feel like they kind of tap into that sound a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Without being just a repeat or a copy, or you know, they're still their own thing.
That's all I really got. But
what do you think, Jed?
That was probably like one of the first songs that I just was like, oh dude, this is pretty good. I'm going with a 9 on that one.
9.
You could do a 10 if you want.
I kind of want to do a 10. I'll do a 10.
Unless it does have some issues, if the song has some issues for you. Then,
well, I mean, prog in general for me, like sometimes when I listen to it is a little start-stoppy and like kind of like
hard to follow.
Yeah, hard to follow a bit. But that wasn't like, it didn't feel like pure prog or anything. But there's still moments. But it's like I still enjoy them though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with a 10 because I never get tired of that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let us punk you around and share what you want.
You guys aren't giving it a 10?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. You guys are not giving it a 10.
Yeah. But another thing too is like I wonder because like prog metal in general is a newer genre for you.
Yeah.
So you're coming at it with a different perspective than me and Kevin are. Me and Kevin have heard prog metal for like 15 years, you know, and it's just kind of like some things that might be like, dude, that's sick. We
You guys
might be
yeah,
like,
we've heard it a million
yeah,
times.
exactly. You know, so it's kind of it's still an awesome song, but like it's interesting because like our ratings will probably reflect, you know, kind of different things that we like as well as different experience that we have, and you know.
I agree. I think this album is kind of a different prog metal album, and it will be interesting since we've all got like different backgrounds.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting in what
stuff stands out,
what we enjoy. Like I guess like because there's some like prog metal albums that like we're gonna be like uniform with our interests and like what we liked about it, but this one might be a little bit like Chad might like this song more, you might like that song more, and then I might like this one more. You know, it's so. Yeah, it'll be interesting. See where it goes. Yeah.
You guys ready for breaking down?
Yeah.
This is the song that I usually share with people when I'm sharing Voyager with other people. Like I remember sharing it with my coworker, and I shared this song, so it's a good starter song for getting in this band.
Yeah.
Oh, so good, man! So sick.
This kind of the single, like
yeah. So sick. Like some guest, but I don't know who he is or where he belongs. But he's like in the book there, you know. Vocals are just awesome.
breaking down. Then you were 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 breaking.
You breaking, yo. You breaking.
Break it down, man.
Break it down, man.
Break it down, man.
Alright, it's your turn to begin this one, bro.
I think I'm gonna give it a 9. I do think it's stronger than track 1. It is a bit more simplistic and whatnot. I do like the backing vocals and whatnot. I feel like the vocalist really. That's the thing. I think one thing with this band that kind of bothers me a bit is like, there's not a lot of moments where the drummer really like blows me away, or I don't enjoy the like if I were doing some kind of pattern for the verse part, I would do something different and stuff.
Yeah.
I get this feeling sometimes where it's like a little bit like prog for progness sake kind of thing, drumming, and it's like, I don't know, it just, I wouldn't really do that, but you know, I mean, it's still
did something better.
yeah, he's a great drummer. He's definitely talented and stuff, you know. There's moments when he breaks out and he's a bit more of a musical drummer, but in this song, I don't feel like he's very much of a musical drummer. There's some, you know, hitting the snare and some open hi-hat part where I'm like, why? Did it elevate the song? It feels a bit distracting for me. And so, yeah, but I feel like the piano and the vocals really shine in this one, you know. But it's just, I do listen to the drums a lot when I listen to music and stuff, and so if the drums are not there for me, it's not going to be a masterpiece for me. Yeah. So I do think it's a good follow up to track 1. The way it goes into the talking part, you know, it's like, okay, here we go. Yeah, let's keep going, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What do you think, Chad?
Another 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just a lot of cool piano parts, and like, dude, I feel like with this band, like sometimes the voice is so amazing it distracts me from the music a bit, and I'm just more focused on the voice, I guess. But yeah, I was noticing like a little more like keyboard stuff that I wasn't noticing, like little hints here and there. But yeah, as far as this, I think the voice kind of pulls me in the most.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 10. I just like very pop-centered stuff. If you got a really strong hook that I love, then I'm going to be all in.
The chorus, I feel like, is better than just, I'm hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Like, I do feel like the chorus has got a little bit more. It's, you know, it's more melodic, you know.
Yeah.
Not as, like, repetitive, more the melody-driven.
Yeah, the chorus, I think, is really cool. I like the little build-up chorus, you know, the backing vocals, you know. Yeah, it's just a fast song. It's straight to the point. I think it's pretty dope. Should we move on to A Beautiful Mistake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful.
It's funny because I feel like I got into this album first, but I feel like I'm going to be the most critical. You know?
I like it. It's like picking up, kind of, you know? Yeah, whatever you say, bro. Drummer's kind of just hitting on it. Her voice is pretty cool. It was.
Yes, it was. I guess it wasn't a beautiful mistake.
It wasn't a beautiful mistake.
Fucking filthy lie.
We were filthy lie. I like how it's echoing like that. Like that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's your turn, Chad.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with a 9 on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones, but and the Russian part kind of took me out of the song a bit. Like not a lot, but I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. It kind of took me out a bit, but yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't have much else to add for that. Like, so take it away, guys.
Yeah. This one's kind of hard to judge, I think. It feels like it just goes. It doesn't have as much of a chorus kind of thing. So in a way, there's like, maybe there's less to kind of grab a hold on because it's not as like repetitive as some of the other songs. But I feel like the transitions and how they go into each part is pretty cool. So I'm kind of thinking probably a 9 or a 9.5. I like her vocals. This is another Devin Townsend reference. Like he has that singer from The Gathering. She sings on like a ton of Devin Townsend project albums. And I thought that was her on this, like guesting on this. Apparently it's someone else. Like I don't know who she is, but she has a
similar.
Yeah, but she has a great voice. Like,
do you think her voice coming in added anything to the song though, or do you think it was just pretty good?
I mean, I feel like it added to the song. I like her voice.
Do you think it added?
Cool.
I'm done. I gave it a 9, guys.
Do you like
I'm
her
asking
voice?
questions here.
Do you like her voice, or is it just kind of you wish she sang?
I did like it. It did kind of have that spacey vibe to it. I guess towards the end mostly, but yeah. I'm just trying to figure out if like would I preferred him to just sing, or did it add something when she came in? Yeah. Just like for me, that's what I was trying to figure out. But
yeah. I kind of like when she comes in, because she comes in at that riffy part with like the soloing and stuff, and I think it just sounds really cool when she first comes in. Like it's like sticking your head in like some cold water, you know. It's like it's kind of refreshing to have her pop in, or at least for me. Man, 9 or 9.5. Let me hear you, Kevin. Maybe you'll convince me one way or another.
I'll give it an 8.5. It's funny because I actually felt like the drums should have been a little more along the lines of track like 2 and 3 could have been a little switched around, like a switcheroo or something. There were a lot of just dance in the wind, you know. I was actually fine with it, but a little more straightforward. I will say, I kind of wish they went back to the chaos in the rain, you know, because I felt like that was kind of the chorus, but they only did it once. And there's a moment after they did, I forget which part.
Wasn't it the one more time, whatever?
One more time.
Yeah, it was
part they
that
did twice.
this
Well,
whole.
like 3 times, but you know.
Let me go back, make sure. Yeah. No, like so after this appears to scream that, then it goes to the chaos in the one. Perfection elevates the easy answer now. Let itself resounds. I kind of wish they did that section again because that felt
It's nice
like
and driving.
yeah, driving and yeah. And I will say I like the female vocalist in the end and whatnot, but I also kind of wish there was a bit of a back and forth between her and him.
Actually,
You know, I think that would have been cool with her being like, "It's amazing,"
And him kind of sitting
and then
another
him
melody at
either
the same
background,
time.
yeah, exactly,
That
just
would've been
to add a little bit instead of just letting her do their thing and then be like, "All right, guys," and then the chaos in the no, but you know, I don't know, I hope I'm not being super critical. Maybe I'm just in a critical mood tonight, you know. But
It is what it is.
yeah, I do like that song, you know. But
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 9. Like, it is a great song, but I think I like the first 2 more. You know.
yeah,
So this next song is kind of an interlude. It leads into track 5. So track 4 is Fortune Favors the Blind, and track 5 is You the Shallow. So we're just gonna combine those 2 together and just rate track 5. So if you're still with us, here we go. It's like on Universe they have like track 4 is like going into Solar, you know. Actually, a lot of their stuff sounds really beautiful sounding. Like the sound quality, it's just really beautiful.
But we have no one here to leave. So the shadow is always in the prime.
I will say that last song, I like the
We
lyrics.
have it all now. You can leave it all behind. You the shadow.
Oh, no. I think you're up, Ian.
Yeah, that song, like, I love that chorus when it's in track 4, like, it sounds really awesome, but when they do it in track 5, like, it just, like, they slow the song down, and the riffing's all slow, it's like,
if it's gonna be slow,
Yeah,
do it, man.
yeah, it's
It wasn't
like-
doomy though.
there's something about it that I feel like they kind of messed up that part. But the rest of the song is fantastic. You know, I like the upbeatness of it. I love the guitar solo, and I think the guy and the girl, the 2 guitarists, I think they switch off on soloing and playing and stuff. So whoever was doing that, you know, I think they're both fantastic players. You know, but yeah, I think that the chorus part was a little bit meh. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning 8.5 to a 9 for this one. I'll just do 8.5 because yeah, that chorus is like so heavenly in the interlude part, and then I feel like they kind of messed it up, and that's the song. But what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. This is definitely like in my lower 3 or so on the album. I feel like the talking part kind of just meanders a bit. It doesn't do a whole lot. One problem that I have is I'm very much into the second half of this album a lot more than the first half. You know, I think maybe that's why when I was going through the album and I got into it, it wasn't until like the second half that I was like, dude, there's some good stuff, you know, because it was just kind of, you know, I just feel like there's nothing really spectacular in this song, you know. I was going to give it a 6.5, but then I was like, yeah, but that second half of that solo was really good.
Awesome.
The drummer did a great job. The guitars did a great job. Like, that area was like my favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah.
Vocally,
You know.
it might be a weaker song.
Yeah.
Well, vocal melodies aren't as there.
Yeah.
As some of the other songs.
It's just,
yeah, maybe I'll lower it to an 8.
it just,
It's still a good song, but it
it's
just
just-
doesn't.
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, you know, I feel a little bit like I feel like there's a little bit of like, oh, we want to give it a good score, or we want to like it and whatnot, but like,
I don't know. I really like it though.
yeah, I know you like it, but I feel like the subjective view is really like, objectively, there's some problems.
Yeah,
in
it's
this
like,
album.
okay, hey
I don't-
guys, check this out. Don't just go on this.
I guess I just don't find this to be like a masterpiece prog metal album to me. But it's definitely really good and whatnot. It's just, yeah, man, maybe I'm being a total freaking jerk tonight.
I think it's a
I'm being
masterpiece.
I think I'm being just a real jerk, but I just,
It is what it is. Like,
there's parts and whatnot that I guess maybe I keep asking myself like, okay, why are they doing it this way? Why these lyrics? What are they going for? I guess that's one of the issues I have with this album. I feel a bit like it's a bit aimless. Like I don't really know what they're going for some of the times with some of the songs.
I think usually, like, I think that song was about voting, like, people and, like, good intentions, but never...
and then fortune favors the blind. Like, if you're not paying attention to things, then you're just gonna be fortunate and feel better.
Yeah,
You know,
I kind of...
that's how I interpreted it.
I kind of took that people have good intentions, but it still could mess things up. Same thing with Beautiful Mistake. I felt like that was how science and whatnot is meant to make things better, but then it's just... Things still kind of get messed
Some
up.
Terminator crabs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just there's
I get
there's
8.5.
there's some songs on here that I feel like are like above average songs, but they're not gonna be in the 8s and 9s for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's
just the way
fine.
it
Like,
is,
yeah, there's no reason to feel like you're being harsh on it. Like, it's just
I'm
your-
being pretty harsh.
It's just your opinion. I mean, 8, 7, and 8 and stuff is still like a good
Yeah,
song. You're not giving it L4.
Yeah, this isn't any dying fetus, right?
But you got a point there, Shaggy.
yeah.
Well, I do think that this is an album to get into. Like people that aren't familiar, it's definitely worth getting into because there is a lot of great ideas, great stuff in this album.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. I think I'm not the biggest fan of like 2010's prog and stuff. Something derailed for me in like the late 2000s, early 2010s for prog, and it hasn't been the same ever since.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's something about the 2010s progs that's a bit like, I don't know, maybe like flashy or something with not enough substance or something like that, you know?
Like, do you think it was because the production's all caught up?
Production and like, you know, I want the ideas and I want the music to stand out. I don't want the tone and the production to win me over. You know what I mean? And so in the 2010s, like prog metal really changed. and now I don't even like recognize it anymore. But I think maybe that might be
Old man
what
prog.
it comes. Yeah, it might be
Old man
one-
prog opinion.
it might
Dad prog.
that,
Dead metal.
that might be like all of my complaints. That might be the genesis of where all my
Yeah.
complaints are coming from. It's just the area and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I mean I loved Bilateral in 2011. You know,
Yeah.
but
That was the last prog album that you loved.
yeah, exactly. Like it's, I mean, except for newer prog, except for like I liked Van and Pla's stuff, but that's because the sound was still 2000s prog. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it was released in
Maximus and
2020.
Riverside have been good in the
Yeah,
2010s.
still 2000s prog to me. Yeah, but it's maybe it's like the jet
The jet
stuff
influence.
and the maybe electronic influences that kind of throw me off a bit or something. Yeah.
I think some of those influences probably elevates Voyager for me because
Yeah.
if they sounded more like just another Circus Maximus or Dream Theater, then I think that I wouldn't really care for them as much, you know.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't really like stuff like Periphery and whatnot, you know. So like I feel like it's kind of like the only bands that kind of have this sound that I like is Voyager and Vola, but I haven't heard like all the bands that are doing this sound. I've only heard like tiny bits, and I kind of feel like, yeah, production's great, but it's just kind of like boring music, you know? And, you know, it's just a personal preference.
Personal
I think,
preference, yeah.
You know?
And there's definitely people that get more immersed in this than I do, I guess. That's all. But like I said, the second half, like, yeah, there's going to be some tens for
Yeah.
me, you know.
I think-
just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah, I think me and Chad were talking about this the other day because I was showing, I think, you some Voyager and Vola in the car, and we are talking about like the 90s prog versus now prog and stuff, and we are talking about how like I think that it might be easier for you to get into the later prog and then work your way backwards because some of the, you know, Fate's Warning, Dream Theater,
Oh,
you know,
yo,
Shadow Gallery,
Chad, get in
like
there.
some of that stuff is just kind of like, I don't know, what would you say is missing from that or less appealing or like
I was kind of trying to figure this out too, because it's like, dude, when it comes to death metal and thrash, like the older stuff is what I gravitate towards
Yeah.
too. I love that sound. I love the production in it. But with this, I don't think I have like that relationship with older prog stuff. So I think that the better production is kind of just,
helps it a little bit?
yeah, I think it helps a little bit. For
A little
me.
bit of icing on the cake or
Yeah,
something.
a little bit, you know, some sprinkles here and there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
I kind of wonder if like the more you're into these and then the more you check out kind of like the roots bands or whatever. I mean, same thing with like, oh, I love Dream Theater. Well, I want to listen to Rush or I want to listen to Genesis or,
Right.
you know, I kind of
It's all
sometimes
connected.
I sometimes wonder if like hearing like kind of how certain sounds are, sure, maybe you still love that more, but maybe it's easy to go that way too. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And with prog, it's still like it's still so new to me, and it's stuff that like my ears don't always catch everything. Like with thrash and death metal, even when it's like even with Atheist and Death, for some reason stuff sticks better with me than like with some other like prog bands I've listened to. But I think it's just.
Over
But then
time,
again,
yeah.
like Atheist and Death, I listen to the crap out of those freaking
Yeah.
albums and bands.
Do you
and so-
remember your first reaction for Death and Atheist? Because you probably weren't be able to follow everything in
My
those,
first though was actually Spiritual Healing, and it's not as crazy as like the later ones.
Yeah.
But
Not as technical and stuff.
yeah, but it's still there, I guess.
What about Atheist though? What was your first?
Yeah,
do you remember
Atheist,
the first impression, or was that too long ago? Or
Man, that was a long time ago. I think just because it sounded so crazy, I was just like, "Oh, dude,
you're like,
this is-"
yeah,
and I don't think I really understood everything I was hearing, which
Yeah.
I still might not. but I think that's what like kind of when I was younger, just hearing that and being like, there's nothing else I heard that was like that. So I was just like, dude, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's what pulled me towards it.
And that's the thing too. I wonder the more you listen to a prog album over and over and over again, I wonder if then you'll be like, okay, this is pretty cool, or more things will start to, because like a lot of prog music or challenging music in general, like it takes multiple listens, even for me to like be like, yeah, this is pretty-
Patience and
pretty-
dedication, man.
Yeah, you know, and it can be rewarding.
Yeah.
I will say, it's sometimes there is an album that you just want to get into. You want to, you know, so even if it's hard to get into it, like that's
Yeah.
how it was for Unexpect in a Flesh Aquarium. I listened to it and then I was like, I want to learn
This is
this. I want to
interesting.
get into this. And then I like learned it. And I
Yeah.
wonder if that was for Atheists for you, where
Yeah.
you were like, because there's some like albums that are hard to get into. Like I don't think Atheist is the easiest album to get into. It's not, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason, whether it's just the feel of the album or whatever the poll is, then you're like, I'm going to take the time to get to know it and stuff, you know? And so then there's some prog albums that you just don't have that motivation to really learn it because I gotta listen to this like
Dude,
5 to
this-
10.
It could be more daunting.
Daunting,
It does depend on like what you want to listen to and where you're at.
Where you're at,
like,
yeah.
You know, because I was talking to this other friend on Radio Music, and I was kind of like, you know, sometimes when it comes to new music, you may be in the mindset of like, I have so much cool stuff right now that I don't really have room for new things,
Yeah.
so that will skew how you interpret new music. Or you could have the mindset of like, I'm so sick and tired of all the stuff that I always listen to. I want something different, and then that will make you just naturally more receptive to something new or different. You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
it
think
depends
that's how
on
you
where
guys
you're
got
at.
me with synth pop. I think that's like,
Yeah.
no, dude, like synth
Yeah.
pop just. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, because you were just like wanting to hear more of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I will say mindset might also be playing a role into going into this album because like 3 nights ago or whatever when I was working and stuff, I was like talking to you for like an hour and I was going on a
Was
bit
that
of
when
a
we were
rant.
doing the Dolly's Dilemma? Or
Yeah,
was this
I was going on a little bit of a rant on like what's wrong with prog metal and whatnot, you know. And like I looked at like the top albums on Radio Music, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I don't agree with like any of
Yeah.
it. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Like it's criminal that Images and Words is like number 43 or something. I'm like, what the hell?
What's wrong with
Like,
you?
so I
Dude, it's
I'm
all the
trying-
death metal bands that are proggy. that
Right,
get
it's
all
like
the love.
Opeth, Mastodon,
Yeah.
Gojira,
Edge of Sanity,
Edge of, you know,
Atheist.
it's
Yeah,
like,
Edge of
and I'm
Sanity's
just like,
pretty sick,
Oh yeah, I
but
agree.
but then I was just like, all right, Ian, let's do Dolly's Dilemma. Let's go through that. It's 1999 prog metal.
And then I was like, I don't want to do it. And then afterwards, I was like, this album's actually really good.
right, you know, and so I do have a personal bias. I do have like a war inside me against like what's happened with prog metal, you know, because I'm like one of those 90s 2000s prog guy, you know.
Yeah.
And there's just, it's weird to me that like there's certain albums, prog metal albums that I view are masterpieces, and they are nowhere to be found in talking.
Yeah,
So
what are the like top 5 prog masterpiece albums?
I do
Like,
think Divine Wings of Tragedy should be higher up.
Yeah.
You know, I do think Images and Words is one. Operation Mindcrime, of course.
Yeah.
You
I think
know.
that's the highest one that you would
that-
agree with, because I think that was like 14 or something.
That's one that like the community, the consensus will give it its due and whatnot, you know. But it's just I think the issue is that I think like prog metal is one of the most like taken over genres of
Yeah.
like non-prog metal people and stuff
Yeah.
who are just like, oh, I'm told that I should like Opeth, so therefore I like Opeth. And but the other thing too is like
Everyone here likes Mastodon. I guess I like them too.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
something happened with like Coheed and Cambria, Mastodon, all these
Yeah.
bands. Something happened with prog metal that it got taken over, and then it was just sort of like now it's uniform. Everybody
Yeah.
likes the same prog metal albums and whatnot. That like
Yeah.
I can't find anybody that's into anything that deviates from the common denominator of
Yeah.
prog metal. And the weird thing is like to me, I'm like, not even are the same bands like heralded, and there's that sort of consensus control, but also the whole sound has been taken over because then they'll be like, this is prog metal, and I'm like, not
know.
really. And then like, you know, I'll just it's weird, man. It's really weird, and so it's like I said, I don't want to crap on other people's enjoyment and stuff, but maybe part of it is like a lot of people got into Mastodon or whatever when they were teenagers.
Yeah.
It was very, you know, Tool, you know, all this stuff they really like got into at a young age, and so
Yeah.
that's their background. But I didn't get in. That wasn't my background of getting into
nor
prog metal.
nor mine.
So maybe that's kind of like
Yeah,
I think Tyranny's also a masterpiece.
That
you know,
is that's
like,
an amazing album.
and
But
it's
I
just-
really think that folks in the 90s were so into like grunge or groove metal or whatever like kind of stuff. Those are kind of more closer to metal kind of genres,
Right.
or new metal. Those are the genres that people were into as far as like heavy music goes. And I think that there was not a lot of room in the American consciousness for Fudgin' Van Applause or Shadow Gallery or Fate's Warning. All of those kind of bands were super underground. Dream Theater was the only one to kind of break through a little bit, but even then, like it was just kind of a lot of dads were into that crap, not like young people. And I
Right.
think that Mastodon and like Opeth were the ones that reached the young people in the 2000s. You know,
They made
That-
prog cool again.
yeah, exactly. So it was just kind of, you know, I don't know anybody who was like, yeah, I was a teenager and, you know, I was frustrated. And then I just threw on that freaking Marillion album, you know, that came out in 91. And I was just like,
Man,
yeah,
just like-
well, that's prog rock. But,
It's just
you know.
I feel like there's two worlds happening here, but the consensus calls it all one world. That's I guess my problem is like I don't even care if this is what the prog metal sound, because I go by what it sounds like. If this is what prog metal is, then we need a new classification of what this other stuff is. Then you know, because it's just not, they're not this. I don't know how you could put like death, atheist, cynic, throw them all in a pool with Fate's Warning and Queensryche and Shadow Gallery. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, very different sounds. So it's just.
I'm okay with calling that stuff technical death metal.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like I'd rather label it as that. I guess. Yeah.
But I will say, even Dream Theater, I remember like as they were releasing albums, even Dream Theater, I felt like I was like, man, why are they deviating from?
Dude,
like
they were totally
sound?
getting groove
Like,
metal.
It was much more like
it,
because like, and I don't remember if there was an interview from like 20 years ago or whatever, but like, you know, Dream Theater, they were like, oh yeah, you know, we were listening to like Slipknot and stuff, you know, like Dream Theater was listening to new metal and taking inspiration from that stuff, and then like, oh well, we need, you know, when Train of Thought came out, we need something a little heavier and whatnot, and it's like, I guess, but I don't think that's quite it. I don't have a war with like prog metal going heavier. That's not exactly right. There's something evolving with the sound and whatnot, and it's never been the same since like the mid to late 2000s.
Do you kind of want people to make retro 90s prog, kind of like how like people make retro 70s prog? Because Opeth and stuff was making like
that's
retro
true.
70s.
They were
like maybe in
back,
another 10 years, so many people will be kind of like nostalgic for like 90s prog, and maybe they might do that. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe, yeah. I don't think so actually. I don't think people are. Because I don't think anyone's nostalgic for this stuff except for me. You know,
just
like
you.
I don't hear any talk about it. You know, but I do want more bands like it's just weird to me because like there are bands like the Redemption, Threshold, you know, Communic or Spock's Beard area of stuff, the lighter area, and it was weird to me because I was like, this is like the definitive like 90s 2000s prog rock, prog metal, you know, area and stuff, and then it's all gone. There's no talk whatsoever.
Honestly, I think the problem is that kind of prog metal stuff just did not appeal to the American culture. It wasn't freaking angsty. It wasn't despair-ridden. It wasn't like fudge this, mother fudger. You know, it was all like, you know, talking about like consciousness or life or whatever. You know, it wasn't like dark enough, I think, to be like popular in America.
When you got Neil Morse, well, on a Sunday morning, you know,
it's just like, man, only the Brits are gonna be listening to this. I don't know.
And
That's right.
The Brown Beasties.
But Mike Oldfield. I was showing Chad that song, and whew, it was rough. You know? Every now and then I'll share something just to show that I still enjoy stuff that you just are not going to get into. But just it's mostly just for fun, just to see you know what you think. That's the horse song on Horseback. And then I showed him Moonlight Shadow, and he thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow's way better.
I agree. It is better. But I like On Horseback. Mike Oldfield's pretty cool. But going back to the whole prog whatever thing, I think that when it comes to culture, you have to get the youth or whatever in order for things to be culturally strong in America. And I think that if music is not appealing to the youth mindset in some degree or another, then it's not going to be super big. And then the people who are like suddenly in their 20s and 30s are always going to be like, I remember hearing that Opeth for the first time, and it's just, you know, so it's just kind of.
And I do like Opeth.
What can you do?
I do like Opeth and whatnot. I guess what I'm saying is like, prog metal had been around for like 20 years, and then all of a sudden like.
These like, people figured out that it was actually there.
Yep, newer.
And then they never went back to see what's been happening.
Exactly. Like, I guess what I'm saying is like prog metals had been around for 20 years. The sound was established, and then all of a sudden, all these newer albums start coming out, and now that's what prog metal is nowadays.
Yeah.
And so it's like. And so I'm kind of like, wait, what? How the heck are these albums all like the top albums that everyone's cheering for?
Yeah.
What happened to the other 20 years of prog metal that no one cares about?
I can see your frustration there, definitely.
It's like imagine if people were listening to only like newer thrash metal, but like all of 80s and 90s thrash was gone. Imagine if that would feel. And then you would feel like you're taking crazy pills. And someone's just kind of like. You know.
They're like,
dude, these guys
Warbringer, man. Warbringer best. And then they're like, well, Metallica, I don't know about that.
It's kind of old. It's not really thrash metal. It would drive you crazy. And so it just, but there is something about like the younger crowd and stuff, and what they got into when they were young.
And because it's the most popular. So many people, that's their first exposure, and they love their first exposure. You're gonna love your first couple death metal bands way more than your 100th death metal band that you listen to.
Right.
You know,
like for me, if I were to talk to Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick back to what Ian was saying, like the whole like American not being ready for it. Like a lot of the prog metal bands you guys listen to, are they American? Like what nationality?
Oh yeah, they're all
Symphony
over.
X, Symphony X, and Shadow Gallery and Dream Theater
American.
are. Those are all
Yeah.
American.
But there are some.
But
yeah.
they're all playing like small venues and stuff, like Symphony X and Shadow Gallery. Well, Shadow Gallery didn't even tour, so maybe that's their fault. They're not super. No, but like Symphony X was always playing small shows and whatnot for the longest time, and I still wouldn't see them draw like in a giant arena in America or something.
There was prog was dominated by the British and the Americans and whatnot, especially that '80s prog stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and so. But you had like Fate's Warning and Queensryche and heck even Sabotage at times.
Yeah, those are all American.
Those are all American and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I think like go ahead.
Oh, the death metal prog, like Opeth and Edge of Sanity, that stuff is kind of more Swedish, so they kind of have that sound probably more. Yeah. But heck, even the technical death metal stuff, that's mostly American. Death, Atheist, all those Watchtower, all those bands.
The Texas prog scene,
Yeah.
There was a Texas kind of, and it's weird because that's all the stuff that I was like listening to and whatnot, and like even the funk stuff. Funk had more of a press, the funk thrash, all of the prog metal and everything. It was a little more connected and stuff, but now all of that is just gone and whatnot. And now, like I said, if I talk to a prog metal person who likes prog, they'd be like, Tool, Periphery, Between the Buried and Me, or something like that. And then I'd be like, okay, well, what about like Pain of Salvation or something? What about Circus Maximus?
They're Swedish.
What about they're Swedish,
Yeah, Circus Maximus.
or even
Norwegian.
like I feel like Fate's Warning isn't my favorite band, but you should get into Parallels. Parallels is a phenomenal 1991 album, and I'm like, that's great.
I was so oversaturated with metal and prog and whatever during high school. So when you were getting into Fate's Warning, I did not have the stomach for them.
Yeah.
Coming back to it nowadays, I bet I'd probably like them a lot more than back then. A long enough time as I've gone to my adventure, and now I'm coming back home.
Okay, my last thing, my last point, and then we can go on with the album.
Yeah,
My
I'll
last
let crap, dude.
No, it's fine.
I'm coming from a time period when people were like, when Spiral Architect came out with their 2000 album, that thing was like insane.
Yeah.
People were like, whoa, this is the future of prog metal. This is the pinnacle of prog metal.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking like, dang man, that Spiral Architect, that's crazy, and then thinking that this thing's gonna last for decades and this will be what people talk about with prog metal.
I thought Unexpected would be bigger too,
right?
Because they're fudging phenomenal instrumentally, but they're not as.
But Spiral Architect, I don't hear a word. In 2007 on some, maybe it was an underground website, but 2007 Spheric Universe Experience got like the best prog metal album of 2007 and stuff. Not a single word. It's just weird to me. DGM, like it's just weird that all these bands are gone.
Yeah.
They're completely like 2000s prog.
They're just
gone.
more underground.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the reason why we're doing this channel. That's because we want to push bands that are a little bit more underground, because we all get tired of just hearing the same opinions over and over and over again. It gets so boring. And it's like the only way to kind of keep the underground alive is by freaking buying their stuff, going to their shows, sharing it with your friends. That's how the underground lives, and that's
Word
fine.
of mouth.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Internet. Anyways, yeah.
But sorry to go on a derail, but
no, it's good, because that's the whole point of this. We're supposed to talk about whatever. You know? I don't care if this is 5 hours long. It's just fun talking about this stuff with you guys.
But I do think Voyager is like a phenomenal band,
Yeah.
They should definitely be listened to and whatnot. And,
Masterpiece.
And not quite for me, but it's still cool.
Yeah. What did you give that last song, track 5? The
Jeez,
score. The one with the thingy, the guitar. Like 20 minutes ago.
The stuff was happening. Yeah, and there's like solos. And there's like I think there's a bass.
There's like a bass in there. Yeah.
Definitely some drums. Okay, yeah, that was
the one where during the chorus they slowed it down.
Yeah, and then the solo. Yeah. Okay, yeah, dude, I'm kind of. I think I'm gonna go. I want either a 7.5 or an 8 on that one. I think I'm gonna go with 7.5.
Sure.
Sorry, I don't have like that's all I have.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, that's it for.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I don't really feel as like when it comes to my rating on Rate Your Music and stuff, I'm way more like, it's gotta be this scoring and whatever. Like I'm more methodical because I know that this is a 3-person thing. I feel like the ratings are a little bit more loose. It's kind of what we feel at the night, There's not the only thought we put into this is like on the video. We're not like sitting there thinking about it for days on do I give that song a 10 or a 9.5?
Like,
not that I do that, but some people probably would.
Yeah.
So, you guys ready for Embrace the Limitless?
Yeah, let's do it. It's like my least favorite on the album.
Yeah.
Critical Kevin. There he
No,
goes again.
It's my least favorite too. But as soon as track 7 hits, this album is phenomenal. For like the next 5 or 6 songs.
See the colors that are in between. Let the time is like solar, like solar. Feel the roaring waves of my machine. Let the time seem they were flowing and flowing.
Kind of interesting things in there.
See the colors in between. Never time to breathe that my soul. The blue, gray, green. Feel the roaring waves. And stop the machine.
Long live the I think it's your turn, Kevin, to start.
I think I like that song about the same as the last one. I'll give it a 7. It's really straightforward of a song.
Yeah.
I just feel like the transition from the chorus to the talking part is just a little lackluster. It just that's the main thing I take away from this song. It's just really lackluster. You know what I mean? It like I'll listen to it in the context of the album, but it's definitely like in my lower 3 songs. Or something. Yeah.
I actually liked 6 more than that one, so man, probably a 7. I'm gonna go with the 7.
More than the one before?
Yeah.
Oh, so
5. Wait.
Oh, so you like
7.5. Oh, we're on track 6.
Okay, so yeah, 5. So I'm gonna go with the 7.
Okay, so you liked it more than track 5? Or less
No,
than
I
track
liked 5 more than
Five.
that one.
Oh, okay. All right. It was
So
confusing.
this is like
Okay,
this is like your
okay.
least favorite. So
Yeah,
far.
so-
Okay,
Five's
at
my
least
least
favorite.
favorite,
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still good. I mean, a 7, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Just
don't mind.
yeah, that was when I don't know. Like when I go through the album, it's not really one that sticks out to me. I
Maybe you
guess.
should change mine to a 6.5. Well, at least You the Shell had that awesome solo section. This one is just very mediocre to me.
6.5 it is.
Yeah, it's just.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give it the best score. I give it a 7.5. I think it is weaker. It's kind of just plain, kind of like the little arpeggio thing, the keyboard thing. But I mean, they do that better in Orpheus.
I just don't feel like Embrace the Limitless. It doesn't feel all that fantastic to me.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just
like,
3 minutes. It's it does its thing, and yeah. You guys ready for Orpheus though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is where the album freaking. Yeah, this is where they start bringing their A game and like these songs. Yeah, this song is awesome. Here's Orpheus.
And they got more guttural vocals from here on out. They haven't had any guttural vocals.
Yeah, because their older albums did the guttural vocals a lot more. They haven't done that so far at all.
Yeah.
Everybody sounds just awesome here, you know?
Now this is Spirit Universe experience, this section here.
Yeah.
This is so like,
I was all thinking, this Rome, just because they have some monologue in German.
You know how on that album they had like Japanese and stuff?
Honestly, if people like this, they might like that album, so maybe we should recommend that one. Maybe even do it sometime. Back to the dreamy, you know.
Something that's too late.
Sing it, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think it's me.
Yeah, I think Chad's next. Domination Game has a good chorus.
Domination Game is pretty dope
Yeah,
too.
guys. I'm not as familiar with the end of the album as I am the beginning. For some reason, that just happens with me. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but,
usually if you keep starting it, then you start doing things.
And sometimes it just gets lost. But dude, I think there's gonna be some sleeper hits like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be kind of exciting because
just throwing the gutturals in there, like I don't know. I like it when I like gutturals in general, but like I feel like that just added a really good like punch and just like and then like after him coming in with the soft singing, I really enjoyed that. Plus, musically, I'd have to listen to it like a couple times to really throw stuff out there like what I liked. I know I did like some stuff, but take it away, guys.
I really like that song. I feel like his gutturals in like earlier albums aren't as like powerful and whatnot, you know. I still like them because it adds some variety to like the vocals and stuff. But dude, that song, I feel like everybody's on their A game. I like the rhythmic stuff. I like the change ups on it. I love the it's just oh man, it's so freaking cool. I like the melodies. Just a cool song. So I gave it a 10.
I'm not sure if I would give it a 10. I'm either a 9.5 or a 10. I will I don't know. I do like this song a lot.
Critical.
I do. This is like probably like top 5. Voyager songs for me. I just love the way it just it's got this weird oscillation kind of thing going on where it's like highs and lows and it it's got this groove nature, but it's so like
oscillating wildly.
It's so like subliminal in its like groove nature in it and stuff, and I just like everyone is on their A game. Even like that sort of talking section and stuff sounds good, other times when bands do a little intermission section part, it can be a little bit like, okay, this was pointless, but I feel like I don't know, man. I like Orpheus, man.
If it was Rhapsody, dude, they would have been doing it for 3 minutes.
Right,
he would have been like, so then the terrors of Tower go, and you're just like, come on, guys.
But it still felt like you were involved. It would be interesting to see what they're saying during that part, especially for the
that's true. Yeah.
So
I should have put some of those lyrics in the translate thing so we can see what they were. Sure.
I'll give it a 9.5. I don't think it's a masterpiece song, but I do think Morning Light would be a 10 for me. I think that is my favorite on this album.
That's my favorite
but
too.
Orpheus is like my second or third favorite on this album, I would say.
Yeah, I think if I had to judge, my top 5 would be like Breaking Down, Orpheus, Domination Game, maybe It's a Wonder, and The Morning Light. I think those 5 would probably be my top 5.
Yeah.
But you gave it 10, right, Chad?
Yeah.
For that one? Okay. Yeah, I give that one a 10 too. 9.5 for Kevin.
And I felt like the drums were like spot on, the bass, and like everyone was a lot more together with Orpheus, I felt like.
Yeah. Cool. You guys ready for Domination Game?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's so dope. These rhythms are so cool. So cool.
I'm just more immersed,
Yeah, me too. Oh, he was like doing some little something. I don't know what that is, but he's hitting other kinds of things.
chanting section. Yeah. Let the crash, let the splash, let the China breathe away. Yeah, it's mostly the gent parts that are my favorite. You know?
We take the grain,
This solo's pretty cool.
you
Yeah,
drown.
There's like an extra little thing there. I think he's saying that during that play. Little bass ended there. Who's
Getting a little bit hot here.
whose turn is it to begin that
A
one?
little toasty. I think it's yours, right? And then
I'm feeling very good.
Yeah, I think
Mine.
it's Ian.
Okay.
This is not an undressing channel, guys.
Yeah.
It's not an undressing channel.
So I got this
if we
new
get more
sweater.
viewers, then, you know.
Check it out. This is the sweater haul.
Just gotta set this over here. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have too much personality on this video, so should I just take off my shirt?
Yo, get the viewers, get the likes.
Get the likes, yeah. The crowd's just like, this album was getting boring, but then Chad took off his shirt.
And then it was hilarious.
I give that song a 10. It's so freaking awesome. I love how the guitars are awesome in that song. The drumming's cool. The vocals are awesome. Everybody's so good. I like the lyrics. I like in the chorus when the guitars go up first and then go back down and then he goes higher. Like it's almost like a little signal of everything's just so great in that song. It's just cool. The riffing is awesome. The
What
good
about the breakdown?
rhythms. I like the breakdown. Oh, good. I was like, motherfucker did it. And I was like, I was moshing. It was crazy. So yeah, I give that one a 10. Take it away, bro.
I'll give it a 9.5. I do like Orpheus more. And this one, I don't like the gent part, man. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I feel like it kind of distracts a bit. It's just. I don't like it when it's just like, all right, let's go low, everybody.
Yeah, a little slow. Crap chord.
And I'm just like, oh, come on, man. Like,
I think it can be cool
come
sometimes.
on,
All right. Sorry, keep.
No, you're good. But fantastic chorus. The talking part is good. It's got some good transitions and whatnot. Some good.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of like just headbanging. It's a very headbangable song, if that makes sense.
So Chad, am I giving you a 10?
Yeah, dude. As soon as I heard the chorus, I was like, "Yep, this song right here."
Good job, Chad.
Yeah, you all be biased. You all be so subjective.
Yeah, dude.
It's a
That's
wonder.
that's the thing. It is hard for me to be like kind of objective on music sometimes. So
No.
yeah, some of my scores, Kevin's probably like, "Oh, fuck."
Nah, it's
But,
all good.
here we go.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
Starting with 7 though, you can kind of see why Ian and I really like
Yeah,
the second half of
more.
the.
So far,
Yeah, I think the second half is stronger than the first half. But you guys ready for Peacekeeper?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, Peacekeeper. We've only got about 5 songs left.
This is gonna be a long video.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a little tired too. What time is it?
10.
Yeah. So we'll try and finish it in about maybe 30, 45 minutes. Something like
Yeah, I think there's probably 30, 45 minutes more.
My little prog metal band.
Because I bet there's probably about
that's
like
fine.
20 minutes left of music, I think.
Okay. So like 45 minutes.
No, I won't do that. Oh, Meatloaf. Meatloafing it up.
And then you'll go around. I won't do that.
Let me sleep on it. Yeah, Meatloaf is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's your turn to go first, Kevin.
His name was Robert Paulson.
His name is
Robert Paulson. That was so fucking funny on the last video.
Now all of our videos we're gonna mention Robert Paulson. Yeah.
Well, Meatloaf, I mean. You know,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's very appropriate.
I'm gonna give that song an 8.5. It's definitely like the weaker one in the second half of the album for me. It's one of those songs that kind of just flows, you know. There's parts where I feel like it feels a little aimless and whatnot. But I do like the lyrics. I like the sentiment and what they're going for and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could have been like structured a little stronger, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still pretty good. I like it about the same as track 3. Yeah. 3 and 1. Yeah.
What do you give it, Chad?
I'm going to go with a 9 on that one also.
Just to keep the peace.
Just to keep
Yeah. Keep the peace. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
You know, just to keep the peace.
I'll even put a 9.
I'll even give it a 9.
You know, just to, you know.
Did you
No,
have anything
that
else
is
to
a
say?
song that would that song did stick out to me when I listened to it. I don't know if I'd go with a 10, but I'm gonna go with a 9.
Yeah, I give that one a 9. I really do like the lyrics a lot. I feel like those lyrics on that one are a little bit more like relatable compared to some of the other ones. They're a little bit more like kind of surfacey, I guess, because like that song always makes me think like the times that people went at each other's throats because somebody burned a turkey because of freaking, you know, like all the
it's just
wars.
dude,
Like it's like sometimes it's like I understand you don't keep the peace for like everything for something really egregious, but there's so many things that like
There's so much BS fighting.
BS fighting,
petty bullcrap.
yeah,
It's just like, dude, like, come
stupid
on.
pride. It's kind of like, yo, you want to go first in line? I mean, I don't care. We got here at the same time. It's not a big deal.
You don't let him go first.
You know?
That's a bad example. Yeah,
No, but it's just there's so many
Yeah.
things where it's like then all of a sudden, oh, a person got shot and killed because they stepped on someone's shoe, and you're like, are you guys this stupid?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you know?
that's
And it's
true.
just people have so much pride and so much like honor, so-called honor, wrapped up in really stupid things. It's like your pride and your honor need to be on more important things than your fudging shoes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. So I kind of like the lyrics a lot for that one. I do feel like it is a bit ethereal and stuff.
Yeah, a little
and
spacey.
yeah, and it's kind of, but I don't know. Sometimes like little moments in that song kind of get me sometimes.
Right.
But at the same time, I know it's not a perfect song, you know.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 9.
Cool.
You guys ready for it? It's a wonder.
Yeah, these next 3 are all really dope.
Yeah, true. This one's a great groove.
Yeah.
This is why we like the second half so much. It's like it's got a lot of power hitters.
Oh, not my glasses on.
I don't know. It makes too much. Mysterious.
What does this remind you of? Is there a little bit of Tall Poppy syndrome going on?
yeah.
Tom Levis. Yeah,
Tom
it does
Poppy.
sound like that. Yeah,
Little, mysterious.
it does sound like that. Yeah. I never would have thought of that, but yeah.
Cannot laugh at us.
You'll not think you are more than us. You'll not think you know more than us.
The only thing is they would have added in a bunch of
Now you can't unhear.
right? Like, you can't hear it now. This part drags it down a little bit for me.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. You got like that, like the slow head.
Yeah, right out there.
Like a chicken.
Chicken rock.
Chicken rock.
No.
Nothing tastes like chicken rock. One of these days, maybe not now, but sometime if it ever comes up, we'll share that chicken heart. You know. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think it's. Is it your turn or Chad's turn?
I think it's mine.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, it's
Also,
Chad's.
it's Chad. Yeah.
Another sleeper hit for me, definitely. Like, once it started going, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, this song.
Yeah.
So I'm going with a 10 on that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the ending?
Do you guys like,
You were okay with
This
it.
is a trick question.
No, there's nothing wrong with liking
Yeah,
something
dude,
that
like,
we hate.
I don't think it's that bad. Like, you
Yeah.
guys, I sometimes, I don't know, maybe,
So distracting.
yeah, maybe,
Takes away from the song.
maybe I'm, oh, man. This is a trick question.
Yeah, if you like it, then
Yeah, if you're
it's
fine
good.
with it.
Yeah, there's some stuff that I do dig that's like that, and there's some stuff that I don't. It just depends. Like, I don't think it really elevated the song or anything, but I wasn't like, this is crap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go with a 10 on that one.
You know, I would have given it a 10, but that ending
That
for
ending
me,
just
I feel like it's a little anticlimactic of an ending. I just don't really like it when it's doing that slow kind of, riffing kind of stuff. So I give the song still a 9.5. It's still a phenomenal song.
Mediocrity wins, man.
The Arky win. It's still great. And the lyrics are cool too. The rhythm, the guitars are awesome. Like it's, I love the rhythmic. The drummer, like giving it that go. Like it's everything is pretty cool. I just don't like the last, 30 seconds. That's all,
Yeah, I'll give it a 9.5 as well. I do. This song's in like my top 4, top 5 on this album. I like the song a lot. I'm not a fan of the ending. I feel like it's a bit distracting. Not much more to add. Let's
Yeah, press on.
press on.
So this is The Morning Light. This is like the first song pretty much after a little intro on their first album. And I really think that production-wise, they've this version I like a lot better. Could be because I heard this version first, but I like this. I'm glad they remade this song because I feel like they made the song freaking perfect. It was already an amazing song. Now they just made it fudging legendary. So here's The Morning Light.
Are you a fan of original Dirty Magic or remake? Or...
Original Dirty Magic. No contest. No, I don't mind the remake, it's
It
fine.
sounds weird to me.
Yeah, but I like the original.
They said that they were like, oh yeah, this is how we wanted it to
Yeah.
be. And I'm like, I still like your original.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's like Terminator beginning.
All right.
Yeah, for reals. This song is just so freaking beautiful, That group, I love it.
I know, right? Come on. Yeah. How we going?
We're going on the journey, man. I like how the rhythm is just doing that. That's pretty cool. through that a ton. It's so freaking cool. This outro is so fucking good. Like, oh man. The solo in the crowd, like, man.
It's kind of reverence.
Yeah. I think I begin on this one, huh? So, man, I love when he's just like, shall we dance, shall we dance? And then the dude's all there, chick or dude is all soloing and like, yeah, it's just, man, I freaking love that. That ending is just really cool.
Where are these guys from?
Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. I think the singer guy, I think he was born in Russia, but he moved to Australia when he was like, I don't know, 6, 8, 10,
So,
12,
yeah,
somewhere.
pretty much
around there.
Australia.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how he knows like Russian
and
and
stuff.
yeah.
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 I'll go first. I freaking love that song. I think the melody is just so freaking beautiful. To me, like, I take that song as kind of like a life affirming type of song, you know? I break the iron will, you know, embrace the floods inside of me. There's like a certain sort of calming, like, I'm at peace now vibe to the song that I just think is so freaking good. And I like all the soloing, the riffing stuff is really cool. His vocals are fudging amazing. I just, dude, that chorus, something about that chorus I think is just so freaking beautiful. And it's very like declarative. It's just very like, I break the ice and time stands still. And there's something so calming and just beautiful about it. And I think it's just really cool. The soloing in that outro bit is just fudging legendary. I love it. So I give it a 10. What about you, bro?
I'm thinking like a 6.
Yeah.
One of the low.
9.5, huh?
No, I'm gonna give it a 10. Yeah, this is probably my favorite song on the album and stuff. I like the way it sets the mood. It really gets you in and whatnot. Then when it you know, and then
While
it's
the guitar-
picking up, and you know, yeah, it's
so cool.
It's got a lot
It's a
going
journey.
for it. Yeah, it really is a journey song. The lyrics are great. Vocals are great. Inside of me.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yeah,
You're like, yep.
you done did
You
it.
done, Daniel.
You all
did it.
done did it.
Fucking did it, man.
So I got not a lot more to add, but yeah, it's a great song. It's probably my
it's just
favorite on the album.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
What do you give, Chad? I know this is one you're not familiar with, but
Yeah,
like,
not like super familiar. I was definitely digging it, and I think I am just getting kind of tired. Like I'm just getting kind of tired, guys. I don't have like a ton to add, but I'm probably gonna give that one a 9.
Just to keep the peace.
Well, no, yeah, just to keep the peace, give it a 9. That could definitely change, but yeah, just
Yeah,
for now.
the more you
as-
listen,
yeah,
and
I was right now, just kind of 9.
yeah, cool. Guys, ready for the little short ballads? Summer Always Comes Again.
Let's do it.
We only have 2 more songs left, so we're almost done.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I
got
like this one. This
gotta-
one's good.
we gotta
Not a
get you to
single
bed.
day
Go to bed.
goes
Get some sleep.
Go to sleep. You know,
One more day at work,
when
and
nothing
it's
yeah.
over for
sounds
2 days
like
at
a sign. Where she forgives the bravest play and turn.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. I like it.
And darkness comes around again, and lines are written over the same. So gently fold the page and carry it with you. She will stand upon
This is the Coldplay. This is Coldplay.
Oh, way better than
I know.
Coldplay.
Yeah,
way better.
I hear it so much. I hear it so much.
inside her vein.
Coldplay would be like, she will stay. Do some freaking all that crap.
But the summer always comes again.
Well, you just don't listen to as much Coldplay as me. I'm proud of you.
Turn into a mile and far from the
Because I don't really feel like Coldplay makes stuff that's beautiful. You know, like
I'm not
I like
talking about the whole section, just that part.
Yeah.
you stay a little while.
I don't think I know Coldplay enough to really have an opinion on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatevs.
I think maybe it's the drums and everything. It's just
I can hear that.
Yeah. This just feels on that like Viva La Vida. It could be on that album.
Always come.
Again.
Yeah.
Is
It's your
it
turn
me?
to start. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I do like this song. It's pretty solid. I don't really have complaints for it and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of short and sweet and straight to the point and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit like now we begin to ride into the adventure. It is a bit like
Beautiful.
I don't know how else
That's the word you're looking for.
yeah, help me out, Chad. You know the feeling I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm
I
talking
think it's
about.
really positive
It is-
sounding.
It's very positive. So it just sounds like it could be on some kind of animated something or another, like an animated show, or I don't know. It's I guess it's just simplistic. How else will I put it? It's straightforward, simplistic, but yeah.
I guess anthemic. That
Anthemic,
sounds a little
yeah.
anthemic. Like it's kind of like triumphant in a way.
Yeah.
Triumphant sounding melody.
I guess what I'm saying, it sounds a little bit commercialized, but it's not bad or anything. It's better than, it just has like a hint. It just has a hint of something. Can't quite pinpoint it, but anyways.
What do you think?
I'm also going with a 9. The piano is awesome. I'm a sucker for the softer songs and ballady stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I give it a 10. I think it's an awesome little ballad. I like the little beginning bit with the little piano and the quiet parts. And I like that it kind of goes triumphant, sort of bit as the drums come in and stuff. I think it's a really pretty song. You guys ready for the last track?
Yeah.
Seasons of Age.
Let's do it. Glad we did this album though.
Yeah. This beginning bit sounds like the end, you know? It just sounds like the end. I think it's still going, so we're cool.
Still October, green light flickers on the minds, many waiting to arrive. Still November,
That bass sounds cool.
rise out of the ashes of a mystery. The mystery. Still December. Once again, a fading hour leads them to believe in me. Believe in me. Oh, now, when we look back at our history, our exhibitions of mystery, a little peace of mind. We were summertime. This was winter time. It's all of us in the summertime. In the seasons of
I thought it was longer than that, but it's not.
yeah, we wither and winter again. And it's always the same. And it's always the same. Trenches deeper. And another run of leaves on the faces of those that leave. Those that
Yeah, it does sound very Joe Satriani.
Rhyme with the surface.
Yeah. It does, yeah. It sounds a lot like this playing.
He sings out, you know.
Yeah. Kevin, you're making a lot of sense tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the sections that I remember, and then I'm like,
It's not that bad.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Something on the mic?
I'm hearing things, guys. I'm hearing things again.
What's that called back then?
I don't know. Guess it's dropping it. Slide.
Like why would it be like maple strings? What noise comes from that?
So I don't know if I think they could be lowering it with like the little whammy bar. They could be hitting on it. I don't know though. Or they could be sliding it. I'm not really sure.
Well, when Gojira's doing stuff like this, what do they call it? There's a colloquial term for it. I'm not talking about like specifically what it is like in
Just the
term.
that
There was-
sound.
Yeah, there was a
I'm not
term
sure.
for it. Like,
Breakdown.
what did they call it? I just remember like reading comments and people saying it had like a name, and I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending seemed a little Gojira-y.
Yeah.
But, I really like that song. the bass and stuff during the talking part, like that song, it's more like talking part in the chorus for me. But I guess this is your turn to start. Sorry, Dad. What do you give that one?
I'm gonna go with a 9 again. I definitely need to listen to this more, and I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like once I get more familiar with an album, to go back to my scores and see if I want to keep them like that or change them.
Yeah.
But I'm going with a 9 on that one. The ending wasn't that bad, you guys.
Yeah.
But I don't have much else to add, so.
I think I'm giving that a 9 too. I think the guitar solo is really good. Kevin, you were right. That guitar solo sounded like it just watched it.
Yeah, dude.
It really did.
Yeah.
But it was a great way to end it. Like the little before it did the real ending. You know, I'm not as big into the way that it kind of just does that slow little bit at the end. But the rest of the song I think is fantastic. You know.
Do you think that's another thing with you guys? Like, you guys are so used to such a fast tempo. Anytime something slows down, it might be a little boring for you guys.
I think so.
For not necessarily. Well,
I get more bored of slower music more than faster music.
Not necessarily.
But it depends. I mean, of
I
course,
think it does
everything
depend.
depends.
The problem I have is with the slow sound, not just slow music in general. I'll be fine with slow music. It depends what they're doing. But if they're just like bending bending strings and stuff,
it's kind of boring.
It's something that is used so much in like the Meshuggah gent kind of stuff. It's so overdone. It drives me nuts every time I hear it. And there's some bands that they'll use it, but it just won't be like the main thing, But when it's used as the main thing that you're supposed to like listen to,
Gravitate towards
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm debating between 7.5 and 8. I mean, I do enjoy this. Yeah, I haven't done an 8 yet, so
Help them out a little.
There we go.
Help 'em out
Just
a
gave
little.
you an
I'll
8.
do an 8, sure, because
Help 'em out a
I
little
do
bit.
think 5 and 6 are my least favorites, and then that one's probably my third least favorite.
Yeah.
Which score wise, it does seem to match up. Yeah. So
I'm gonna add up all the scores right now. So yeah, you guys want to just share some final thoughts?
Yeah,
before
we'll do final thoughts, and then you can do the scores Ian, and then you can close it out. Okay, bro?
Sure.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
It seems like I was like really harsh and critical of this album and stuff, and maybe I was and whatnot. I still think it's a fantastic album. I still enjoy it and whatnot. It's just there's some parts and stuff where I just feel a bit like why are we being super generous kind of thing, and I just
love it.
I just feel like I'm trying to be like honest and realistic with what I say and not just be like prog metal, I'm gonna give it a good score. There are prog metal, there's no genre that's perfect, you know what I mean? It just there's flaws in every genre, there's good and bad in every genre, and so I feel like there's moments in this album that are a bit distracting, a bit like, why are you guys doing this, but then there's also moments where I'm like, dude, you guys are hitting it like out of the park,
Yeah.
So to close, I really do enjoy this album. It's definitely one to get into and whatnot, but it's what do you think?
I like, even when Ian showed me this last, I really did enjoy it. I'm definitely gonna listen to this more and probably some of their other stuff, along with I might depend on you guys a bit to get into some newer prog stuff, but it's definitely a genre I'm gonna start listening to more, and I was really digging these guys. I remember I've probably gone through this the whole album at least 5 or 6 times, not a ton, but
enough to still be familiar.
Yeah, and then not including probably honestly 8 or 9 times I just didn't finish it every time. Probably just 5 or 6 that I finished it, but yeah, I'm really digging these guys. So, and I don't know, dude. Sometimes I think my scores might just be but I mean,
No, it's what you're into at the time, so it's totally cool,
Yeah, all of these scores could change too.
yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, I think this is a pretty awesome band.
Yeah. So here's the scores we gave Voyager 5. So I gave it the highest score of 9.29. Kevin gave it the lowest score with 8.62. And then Chad
you
gave
say
it...
it that way, huh?
Chad gave it the second highest with 9.12. And overall, we gave it a score of 9.01. So very high. Great album, Even with its flaws, there's still so much more that they're doing right, melody-wise and rhythm-wise, than the few kind of scars or few things that they're kind of, Yeah. So, I think my final thoughts, it was nice to pick this album because, I do like a lot of the classic metal, prog stuff that Kevin likes as well. In the 2010s, I felt like I don't know. I felt like the only prog metal stuff that I really enjoyed was like Circus Maximus, and that was like kind of it. I mean, Riverside was kind of more prog rock, it seemed like, in the 2010s, and the Steven Wilson stuff, I wasn't as behind as I was the Porcupine Tree stuff when they were together. Now they're together again, but so in and same thing with Leprous. Like I really loved some stuff like Bilateral and Congregation, but then they had some misses. So when this came along, I was not huge into Gent. Like I liked Meshuggah, they had some cool stuff, but I don't love Meshuggah,
I'm not.
they're kind of, but they also are a band that I know I have to devote more time to learn to appreciate. But it's just been 15 whatever years that I've had those Meshuggah albums, and I'm like, yeah, they're pretty cool, but I rarely put them on. Every now and then I will. I kind of like Destroy, Waste, and Prove, but this is not about that album. So, I guess what I'm getting at is Gent was not a genre that I was very into, and this is more like Gent light. Like this isn't as Gent heavy as like some other stuff is. But that's why I was so kind of like not wanting to give these guys a chance. And I'm glad that Kevin kind of pushed me to check these guys out more and listen to this album because I think it's phenomenal. I like that the melodies are kind of like a little bit different. Like the melodies that he does with his voice is not like typical, like, oh, this sounds like a melody that all these bands do.
He's not a carbon copy vocalist, that's for sure.
He's pretty original, And I think the band is pretty original. I think they're really good. So I think that's it for my final thoughts. It's fun to do this album, and thank you guys for coming along with us and listening. So peace out. Have a good night.